morning, traders. I am Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Friday, February 9th. Today's moves follow an essentially flat day on Wall Street yesterday. After hitting the 5,000 point mark earlier in the session, the S&P 500 closed up by just 2 points or 0.06%. The Dow added 48 points or 0.13%, and the Nasdaq closed in the green just about 0.25%. Bill, let's get into Friday with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes. Good morning, Emily. I'm watching S&Ps. Hey, we're up 0.22, a little more than 0.2%. That's positive. We're dancing with that 5,000 level on the S&Ps. I wouldn't be surprised if we push through it today, but we'll see. This morning it's all about the CPI revision report that's coming out an hour before the opening bell. Typically, it's a very benign report. However, last year's CPI revision report really did create some volatility in the markets, so it's being pointed to. I mean, I know a couple of the Fed speakers over the past couple of months have talked about it. So, yeah, it's going to get more attention than normal, and that's going to be a key one. But, geopolitical issues are going on, and earnings still take the forefront. You're looking at the markets overseas last night, and, I'll say this morning. Let's face it, the DAX is higher. The DAX is higher by 24 points or 0.15%. The FTSE's higher by 12 points or 0.17. The CAC is up 0.77, which is, less than 0.11%, but it is positive. That's the key thing. You've seen some positive action in healthcare and tech in Europe, and that's good. Asia, on the other hand, Asia was pretty much of a yawn. I mean, the Nikkei jumped 34 points or 0.09%. Hong Kong, slid 131 points or 0.83%, but it had an early close and the volumes were really light because that lunar holiday, is starting, and China was closed because of the lunar holiday, the Shanghai market, and as well as some other exchanges. And China's Shanghai market's actually closed all of next week. So yeah, it was a very quiet session in Asia last night. Now we got to keep an eye on oil, and oil this morning is trading slightly lower. Hey, it had 4 sessions in a row of raising prices, and yesterday we had some big gains. So I'm not surprised to see oil giving back a little bit. WTI is at $76.06 a barrel, whereas Brent's at $81.36 a barrel right now this morning. It is trading lower. You've got the issue with Israel going on, where Israel rejected the Hamas proposal. That Hamas proposal was dead on the get-go. We'll see if anything comes out of that. But right now we're seeing a little weakness in oil. And that's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update, Emily.
And Bill, you mentioned earnings remain at the forefront here. So let's get into earnings action. Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings? Give us the rundown.
Listen, we got to start with Take-Two. They did miss on earnings, and that stock's down 7.72% this morning. Cloudflare, ticker NET, Nancy Edward, Tom, they beat by 3 cents on higher revenue, and that stock's up 23.46% this morning. Wow, what a jump. Pinterest, ticker PINS, Paul, India, Nancy, Sam, they beat by 2 cents, but it was done on lower revenue. Stock fell hard right after that announcement, and but it has bounced back. It's only down 1.29% this morning. They're doing a deal with Google, and that is helping the stock this morning. PepsiCo, ticker PEP, Paul Edward Paul, they announced this morning Pepsi delivered a beat of 6 cents, but it was done on lower revenue. Pepsi's down 1.29% this morning. There was some positive stories, but it wasn't a great report. Upcoming Monday morning, nothing this afternoon, but Monday morning we got Monday.com, MNDY, Michael, Nancy, David, Yellow. Their EPS is 30 cents. Expected move here is 11.18%. And then we got Trimble, ticker TRMB, Tom, Richard, Mary Boyd. They're also releasing Monday morning. Their EPS is 58 cents, and the expected move here is 6.62% when they release Monday morning, Emily.
And Bill, you also mentioned in your markets overview at the top of the show, at least one economic report that eyes are on today, but give us a full look at what we should be watching for when it comes to the day's economic events.
Yeah, 8:30 a.m. The BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, are going to be releasing revisions to the CPI for last year. Okay, it's typically a a nothing report. I think this will be a nothing report as well. But last year did create a little volatility in the markets. That's why it's being watched this morning. And at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to get the Baker Hughes rate count. In terms of Fed speak, you got Lori Logan speaking today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. But that's really what I have for you in terms of economic events happening today, Emily.
Bill, keeping an eye on those earnings and also the economic events. And what else? The day's other market moving headlines, things that come out of merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news, other catalysts. You're also grouping stocks together, like your FANG stocks, your Dow 30 stocks, watching all of this data and information using your NewsWare, breaking it down into these alerts so you can gather this very quickly. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Looking at my Dow stocks, I'm showing 17 higher, 2 unchanged, which would make 11 lower. Salesforce.com is showing a nice gain this morning, up over 1%. Travelers Group is the big weak one that's down 1.32%. You're looking at your FANG stocks, they're all showing gains of at least 0.5%, which is positive. Apple is up 0.4%, I should note. Autos are trading higher. Banks, for the most part, are showing some gains. Goldman Sachs is a little weak. There's talk about a CEO change, little shakeup in their executive ranks. Drug stocks are kind of lower, but I expect them to turn. Semiconductors are rallying. Ooh, we're seeing nice gains there. Let's take a look at it. Let's talk about some news behind it, like in the FANG stocks. Google, is really creating some news on it. Stocks up 0.57% this morning. They're jumping into the tech industry's latest craze for subscription chatbots. They're supposedly going to be charging like $20 for access to chat for their Gemini chatbot. I also see that Google's just joining an effort to identify content that's made by AI. Talking Dow Jones 30 stocks next week. I want to point out we got earnings coming out from Coca-Cola and Cisco. Coca-Cola's coming out Tuesday. Cisco's coming out Wednesday, I believe. Microsoft, Sam Altman is out there raising funds to increase the world's chip building capacity. He's looking to raise $5 to $7 trillion. Wow, that's a lot. Disney, Disney is out there talking about how they're going to harness AI to power a new advertising tool that'll help brands tailor their commercials to fit the mood of specific scenes within a movie or television series. That makes sense. Bob Iger's hands all over that. Turn merger news, Owens Corning, ticker OC, they're going to be buying Masonite International, ticker DOOR, David Oscar Richard, in a $3.9 billion deal. Looks like Owens Corning is going to be paying $133 a share for Masonite International, ticker DOOR. GRAB, Grace Richard, Appleboy, Grab is going to be and GoTo are restarting their merger talk. In terms of guidance news, Cloudflare, Net, ticker NET, they see full year 2024 EPS 58 cents to 59 cents. Street estimates 56 cents. Wow, that's nice. Mohawk Industries, ticker MHK, they released earnings yesterday, but the earnings were okay, but the guidance, $1.60 to $1.70 for Q1. Street estimate had them at $1.83, little light. Motorola Solutions, ticker MSI, Michael Sam India, they nice, guidance for Q1, 250 to 255. Street estimate has it at 237. Good. MSI is trading lower though this morning. In terms of shareholders meetings, Smart Global Holdings, ticker SGH, Sam Grace Henry, they're having a shareholders meeting today at 1 p.m. In terms of buyback news, Simon, ticker SPG, used to be Simon's Property Group. They announced a new $2 billion common stock repurchasing plan. That's big. Remember they do office leasing. They own a lot of buildings. Motorola Solutions, ticker MSI, announced a $2 billion increase to its share repurchasing authorization. PepsiCo, ticker PEP, plans to repurchase approximately 1 billion shares worth of stock in 2024. In terms of catalyst calls, ZBH, Zebra Boy Henry, Citibank opened up a 30-day positive catalyst watch on Zimmer Biomet, ticker ZBH. That's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that Newsware delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what is your pick of the day to end this week?
I'm going with Monday.com, MNDY, Michael, Nancy, David Yeller. Earnings are coming out Monday morning from Monday.com. EPS is 30 cents. Expected move is 11.18%. I'm looking at yesterday's call volume, 2,053 calls versus 1,221 puts. Open interest is 17,517 calls versus 6,917 puts. Wow, that's almost 3-to-1. Looking at the major brokers, they like the stock. They're increasing price targets. And I looked at last quarter's earnings report. I saw that the CFO said, hey, we're increasingly confident in our ability to reach our targets in both the short and long terms and continuing driving efficient growth at scale. Nice. I want to get into the stock under $230. I mean, 225 would really be better, but I will go under 230. It just depends on how the stock opens this morning, but I do like it. I do think we're going to see some positive flow in Monday.com today. That's ticker MNDY. And so that's my pick of the day, Monday.com, MNDY, Emily.
Monday.com it is. And we've had a couple of pick of the days leading up to this point as well that we're sort of looking at your data points ahead of earnings, just as you did for yesterday's pick of the day. And coming up, we're going to take a look at that when we do a recap. So stick with us. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, sending it back to you.
I see this from a couple of brokers out here about the spies. Bank of America warned stocks close to issuing a sell signal. I think I saw J.P. Morgan, say something about, being concerned for a 20% pullback. PepsiCo raises its annual dividend 7% to $5.42 a share. Spotify, ticker SPOT, said it paid out $9 billion to music rights holders in 2023. OpenAI's revenue surpassed $2 billion. Barclays buys Tesco's retail banking business. Okay. See Verizon VZs are going to participate in a conference call. Calls hosted by KeyBank. Goldman's management's going to be meeting with Oppenheimer on Feb 13. SHCO, Sam Henry, Charlie Oscar. This is Soho House. Their board approved a new 50 million share repurchasing plan. VeriSign, VRSN, they reported a 3% rise in their fourth quarter revenue yesterday. It beat expectations. Baidu, BIDU, has partnered with Levano to feature its generative AI technology on their smartphones. WBA, these pharmacy chains have been hurt by declining reimbursement rates from the pharma benefit managers. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we sign off for the weekend, we get into trading on this Friday. Let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day, which was WP Carey. They did release earnings this morning. They're looking at a couple of numbers here, Bill. They reported a Q4 EPS of 66 cents. That was 14 cents better than the analyst estimates of 52 cents. They reported Q4 adjusted funds from operations of $1.19, just below the consensus of $1.21. Revenue for the quarter came in at $410.38 million, and that was below the consensus estimates that were falling somewhere between $412 and $413 million. They did also narrow their full year 2024 adjusted funds from operations view from $4.65 to $4.75. That's from $4.60 to $4.80. And the consensus here was $4.74. Not doing anything yet this morning, but Bill, you even told us on the show yesterday you're trading it heading into earnings. You probably weren't going to hold it into earnings. How did your call work out?
Fabulous. It worked out perfectly. Listen, I said under 61. I wanted to get in under 61. Well, guess what? The stock opened up at $60.57, 60.57. Then it fell down to, fell down a little bit to $60.39, and then it just took off and rallied all the way, hitting a high of $61.57. Hey, beats the 1% goal off the opening price, even more off that low. But it was definitely a winner. WP Carey, WPC, William Paul Charlie, checkbox winner for yesterday, Emily.
Another win there, Bill. And we will check in with you Monday about today's Monday.com pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here Monday and each weekday morning next week at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.